Alright, what is going on, guys? I'm We Got Bored, and welcome back to another episode of Middle School Funny Moments. I've been making too many of these videos lately. I need more content ideas. So today's video is going to be a certified banger, if you will. Buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get a little spicy, okay? So going through life, everybody has their own funny moments, and sometimes these funny moments are good, and other times they're really, really bad. And this is one of the worst ones that happened to me because it was really, really scary, and I wish it never happened. So the other day I was at school. It was a Friday. You know, we were just winding down, eating lunch. It was actually a half day at school, and so at my school, what they do is after lunch, the day just kind of ends. So you like do all your classes, eat lunch, and then leave on half day. So me and the boys were just eating lunch on a Friday afternoon, looking forward to the weekend because Saturdays are for the boys, you know what they say. So we were just eating lunch like usual, and a couple tables down from us, there was this kid and his group of friends, and let's just call this kid Tyler, okay? He doesn't look like a Tyler at all. I don't know why I said that, but we're not gonna use his real name, so let's just call him Tyler. So Tyler went to my elementary school. We weren't necessarily best buddies, but we got along fine, right? And he was always one of the quirky crowd, okay? I didn't want to say that he was weird, but like he was kind of weird, okay? Like I have nothing against Tyler, but he was just always one of the stranger group, okay? And he's a nice kid, don't get me wrong, but that's just something you should know about him in context of the story. So we were just sitting at lunch minding our own business. He was sitting with his friends a couple tables down from us, and everything was going pretty good. So usually it's pretty loud in the lunchroom and you can't hear what the other tables like across from you are saying. You can usually only hear what the kids right next to you are saying. But in the middle of lunch, out of nowhere, Tyler stands up from his table with complete aggression and intent, and he yells, "No, stop it." Now, I don't know what goes on at the quirky kids table, but usually nothing ever happens at lunch that's like so intense that you have to yell like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there is some beef at our school, but like usually nothing goes down that's like that crazy and somebody's yelling that loud that you can hear them over everything else in the lunchroom. So you knew this was serious from the start. And this was like really surprising to me that Tyler was getting all mad because he's usually a really nice kid. As I said before, like he's usually not the type of kid to get mad at somebody. So to see him like yelling at the top of his lungs to this kid was like kind of weird, right? But then he spent a good bit yelling. He spent like a couple of seconds honestly yelling, but it felt like an eternity just because of how weird it was. And then after that, after his little rant, he just sat back down, right? So me and the boys didn't really think anything of it. You know, we just thought maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's just down in the dumps a little bit, and he's just kind of trying to take it out on somebody else, which is never good, of course, but maybe he's just not having the best day. So everything goes back to normal. Me and the boys were just back to eating lunch. How many times have I said me and the boys? I'm having a crisis. So everything's normal again, and like 5 more minutes go by, and then we hear a loud pop coming from that side of the room. And so if you're in middle school, or you ever were in middle school, and you've ever been to a middle school lunch, which I'm assuming everybody has, usually when kids can't open their chip bags, they like to pop them because it's really like dramatic and annoying, but kids just kind of do that, you know? And the chip bags they sell at our school also have like really hard plastic or whatever they use for the wrapper, and so it's usually really hard to open the chip bags, and kids will go to any extent to open their chip bags. So on any other day, it would have just been somebody popping their chip bag and we would think nothing of it. But right after the pop, a bunch of kids in that area started screaming. So at this point, we were kind of like putting things together, connecting the dots, and so some kid got mad, and then there was a loud pop and everybody started screaming. So there's a lot of stuff that I can't say on YouTube, being the site that it is. There's a lot of stuff that they just won't let me say, and I could get in a lot of trouble for saying certain things. So for the purposes of this family-friendly video, I'm just gonna say that we thought we were in big trouble, boys. We thought that our very own lives were at stake in the middle of this middle school lunchroom after we heard a loud pop and then a bunch of kids screaming because we couldn't see anything that was going on. So we thought that somebody was using a weapon in school. Now I know what you're thinking, Adam, you are completely overreacting, and I was. Everybody was, okay? You are completely right. Everybody was overreacting, but you would probably be scared too if you were sitting in lunch minding your own business and then you heard a loud noise that may or may not have been a chip bag or a gun, which was then followed by a bunch of kids screaming to make sure you thought it was actually something serious going on instead of some kid trying to open his hot Cheetos. And when I say the lunchroom was in panic mode for that 10 seconds, I mean it, okay? There were kids running to doors, hiding under tables. There was kids like throwing chairs at each other. I did lie about that last one, but like it was a pretty spooky event, okay? And then after like 10 seconds of everybody screaming, people started to realize that nothing was actually going on. Thank God nothing was going going on, because if something did actually happen, I would not be making videos anymore, let's just say that. And like, imagine the crisis it would be if there was no more We Got Bored videos. Nobody would be having a good time, okay? Let's just say that. And then after a couple of seconds, all the smoke cleared, everybody started to calm down, and we realized that nothing was actually happening. It was just a kid popping his chip bag. So thankfully, good old Tyler here didn't actually use a weapon in school. That's very good, you know, you never want that to happen. And so after all the smoke cleared, we realized that it wasn't actually Tyler even popping the chip bag. It was actually some other kid who also went to my elementary school, because for some reason everybody goes to my elementary school, but the kid who actually did it, let's just call him John, and he was this other kid from my elementary school who used to be in my grade, but then once we went to middle school, I noticed I didn't see him anymore, and it turns out he actually got held back because he's stupid. So John over here thought it was gonna be a little funny epic prank that was not gonna make anybody poop themselves, not me at all, but he thought it would be a funny prank just to pop his chip bag, and instead of just popping his chip bag like a normal person, he was gonna tell his friends to scream after he popped the chip bag, so then everybody would be scared when they hear a loud pop and screaming in an American middle school lunchroom. So everybody ended up being fine. There was nothing actually going on. Maybe some people had a heart attack, but other than that, everybody was perfectly fine. So yeah, moral of the story, never do an epic funny prank that's not actually funny and is just gonna scare a bunch of people. John, if you're watching this, I think you're a poopy face, and I think you should poop yourself in front of your whole crush and family. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. If you did enjoy, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel We Got Bored for more random videos at random times, and I will see you guys in the next one.